Good afternoon. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 1 p.m. Central, so I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. It's always a fun ride. We love to hear from you. You can always send emails to Donna at donnasedge.com. That's Donna at donnasedge.com. You can find us on television. We are syndicated on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on the newscasters.com. Not only there, but all the social media sites. You can go to facebook.com/D Fiesel. Again, continue sending those emails because we operate because of you, and you're the reason we have this show. And from hearing from you, we've had some pretty rough weather here in the Carolinas here lately, and we've had some tornado warnings, tornado watches, and that kind of thing. And this is my go-to website for weather and weather preparedness. And I love it. It's Red Cross, redcross.org, redcross.org. Now, what we all need to understand is what is a tornado and what does it mean when there's a tornado warning and a tornado watch. Again, my go-to site right here, redcross.org, redcross.org. So this is real easy. Meaning is a tornado watch means that tornadoes are possible. So you're watching out for them. You know what I mean? And near your area, so be ready to act fast. Okay, this is what a tornado warning is. Take action now. Okay, don't even think about it. As a tornado is near, there's danger. Make sure you move to a location right away. Now, I wanted to mention to you your local connection. Okay. Local connection would be your television. It could be your radio station. Now we're about an hour away from a local television station. So we like to stay tuned in to either our Facebook page, which is full of Abbeville, South Carolina, great information. Also, they have a wonderful radio station here. It's the Old Country, and I really like that. But your local radio station also is going to supply you with the information that you need. You want to go local when it comes to this. I like to stay connected to my Facebook page because I may have friends who I may be busy reporting and I don't even know what's going on in the world, but I'll receive alerts that tell me if there is a tornado in action, maybe even a thunderstorm possibly coming up on the horizon. But you need to know those things. Those are the basic tools right there. Don't disregard. Now, sometimes the weatherman gets it wrong, but that's okay. You know, I'm glad they're wrong in some cases, but you need to take every alert very, very seriously. Okay, now what should you do before a tornado? Okay, what you should do is be prepared. Okay, get the kids prepared, hubby, spouse, whatever, prepared for what could possibly happen. Now, this is something that I grew up in Tornado Valley, okay? And my grandmother would actually come to the school running down the hall, grab us, and take us back to her house anytime there was a tornado warning in effect. And this is back in the 1970s. They won't let you do that anymore, thank goodness. So she would come in, she was concerned about us and wanted to make sure we were safe. So she would come and grab us, and we would go to my Aunt Novi's house sometimes because she had a storm shelter. See, my only association with growing up with a storm shelter was scary. I mean, it was just like, it was only bad news when you went to the storm shelter. So this is some advice right here, okay? So if you have a storm shelter or you have a friend who does just right down the road from you, make it convenient, okay? Not 10 miles down the road, but somewhere really, really close by, maybe even a church basement, that kind of thing. But let the kids see the storm shelter prior to warnings. And a great thing to do is to make it look homey. Maybe put some cushions in there so it looks homey. Let the kids go in there and help you change out maybe water. You need to do that anyway, about every 3 months or so. And most storm shelters are kind of cool, but you need to check expiration dates, like on water, snacks you're going to have down there, that kind of thing. And just go out and recycle. So if you see that the water or your snacks are getting close to the expiration date, bring them in, go ahead and use them up and replace those items. I would do it at least every 3 months or so, just to make sure you've got the absolute safest stuff. Now, a good idea before the tornado warnings and watches is to take the kids and just go inside and have some playtime. Maybe bring a puzzle in there, let them put a puzzle together, let them bring their favorite toy in there, let them play with the cars and trucks, let them see that it's a safe place. It's not a place to be afraid of. Because if they think it's afraid, I'm telling you, we would kick and scream the entire time my grandparents would try to get us in that storm shelter. Because again, we only thought of it as being somewhere scary. So make sure you prepare for that. Prepare for the safe place in your home. So we bought a house in Abbeville that's 1960 style, and I love it. We're just having an absolute fun time redecorating this house. A lot of paint going on. But one of the first things we wanted to check out was storm area. What if? What if a tornado warning came? What if a tornado watch? What if a thunderstorm warning came out? You need to take those serious too, because sometimes a thunderstorm warning can spin off into tornadoes. So you got to be really careful there as well. So 3 levels. The bottom is kind of like a walkout basement area. Windows everywhere, nice and bright during the sunshine, but when it starts getting stormy outside, you want to be somewhere else. And most of this house is glass. Again, it's 1960 split level type. But the safest place is downstairs on the bottom level. There is a bathroom in there. It's a small bathroom. And so that would be our safe place to go. So let me explain something to you. And this is from experience. I grew up in Alabama, Tornado Alley. Okay, so we would see where a tornado had hit areas. And you would see where there were maybe big rooms in the house. But let's pretend this is a big room right here. Okay, and you would see where the walls went down. And because, see, look at that space right there. Because there was no space, nothing to hold those walls up like a small room would be, it was dangerous. So there you would be. There would be, furniture crushed. Maybe the family got out in time, which would be a great, and they found a safe area to go into. So the family came out safe, but everything they had was smashed. Thank God they weren't in that smashed area. Now, if you go to, say, a restroom like we have downstairs, it's a small restroom, so it would be kind of like so. So if all of the house came crashing down, this would be the great thing that would happen. This part right here, the roof would not get into that area. Now, I have seen homes that were just wiped off the map. I mean, I've seen that, but I'm just saying as an overall, it's better to be in a small room where if the roof does this, see like that right there, you'll be under there. So you always check out the best area. So if you just moved, or maybe you just never thought about a safe area, make sure you check it out. Okay. Now, another thing I wanted to talk to you about is finding shelter locations. Again, go to your Facebook page, go to your local EMA. You'll find some areas that way. A lot of churches on their Facebook page, like a church close to your area. I'm just saying it's the best place for refuge of anything. If you can find a church that's really close to your house and like their page, what they'll generally do is ask for people to come. They'll say, we're going to open up the basement, rough weather. Hurry up and get here right now. They'll go ahead and put that on their Facebook page or their other social media sites. So find a local church. That's going to help out tremendously. And again, let the kids see that now before. You might want to go to the church a few Sundays at least. Okay, find shelter locations from high winds in the places where you spend a lot of time. Okay, so find a safe room. We just talked about that would withstand those high winds. The next best protection in a small room, no windows, and on the lowest level of a sturdy building. And that's what we found. Again, down in the basement, the 3rd level, and then the restroom that's just right on the outside of that. Okay, now a mobile home. Okay, manufactured trailer homes and recreational vehicles like your RVs are not safe in high wind events. So plan ahead by finding a sturdy building to shelter in or before a tornado watch or a warning. Back in the day, I'll have to tell you, my grandparents did this too. Anytime there would be a tornado warning, they would want to get inside the car, which was scary because the car would just be doing this number. And that's what people said back in the day. People say, go and get in the car. That's going to be your safe place. Go there. Not necessarily. So the best thing that you want to do, again, find a safe place inside your home. If you don't have a safe place inside your home, you live in a mobile home and you're just a little leery about it, better safe than sorry. Go check out a local shelter. Go check out a local church that may have a basement and they'll let you go in there. Churches are kind of great because they always have snacks and stuff too. And it's safe for the kids. Okay, now let's talk about practice tornado drills, which is important as well. With your entire household, practice moving quickly to the safe location that you identified. Now, Create a personal support team of people you may assist and who can assist you. If you live in a mobile home, practice going again to a safe place. Now let's talk about plan to stay connected. There are things you need to do about that as well. Always be prepared. I'll tell you, I've got myself programmed. If there is even a thought of a thunderstorm, I immediately look at my cell phone and see how many bars of battery I have left. I immediately plug that thing in, because this is what happens where we were from in Alabama. I mean, it could rain and we would lose the electricity. Always be prepared for that, because especially if it's a real terrible disaster, you may be days without electricity. I mean, remember you folks what you went through in the Carolinas when the hurricane came through. That was not a fun time for folks at all. I know I spoke with our realtors before we bought the house. I was checking on her, checking on Lindsay to make sure she was okay. And she said, I'm okay, but we have no electricity. But she wasn't complaining. And she said, I'm not going to complain because a lot of people lost a lot of stuff, lost their houses and stuff like that. But anyway, stay connected with folks. Okay, now let's talk about that. Let's dig in just a little bit more. Sign up for free emergency alerts from your local government. We have an alert radio. That's all it is. It just alerts us on the weather. Now, if you've moved to another part of the country, you need to get it reprogrammed, because when we first moved here, it was only showing Alabama, okay, in the zip code that we were in at that time. Now, sometimes if it's an older unit like ours, it's good old safety. I mean, that thing's been around a long time and it works. I didn't want to get a new one, wanted to keep that one because I know it was going to give me some good information. There was a place for me to put in the zip code where we moved to. And if I wanted to have military time, or if I wanted to have 12-hour time, that kind of thing. And I'm going to tell you, this thing it's spot on. If there is any kind of a thunderstorm warning coming out, or maybe a flash flood or anything like that, that radio speaks loud and clear. Some places will actually, sometimes a fire department will run this deal. They'll get the radios and they'll just hand them out free. There are some drugstores that'll do that as well. So you might want to check that out, because a weather radio is a must in your home, especially if you live in the South where there are tornadoes. Okay, plan to monitor the local weather and news. Now, we talked about that just a few minutes ago, and that's about your local radio station. Make sure you stay cued into them. And then also, if you have a television station that's close by, that's a good idea also to hook up with them. Now, we have Roku, so we don't have like cable or anything like that, but you can also get a local antenna, and a local antenna would help you too. So you can always download and get your local news. Now, we are able to get Fox Carolina, which is as local as we're going to get. So that's found on our Roku channel. And check out your Roku, okay? Because sometimes you can do the call letters and just speak that in. Now, you got to have it on the main channel of Roku to do that. Okay, you got to be in the home area. There's a little home button up there on the remote. Hit home, and then just say, if it's WBRC, just say WBRC. That would be in Birmingham, Alabama, if that's local enough to you. So you might be able to pull that up on Roku. Just, white up, search and see if you can find a local radio station or TV station really close by. Okay. Plan to monitor local radio and news, have a backup battery or a way to charge the cell phone. This is another idea for you. Okay, so with the move, we decided to change cell phone carriers. Okay, so we went back to Verizon. I used to work for back when they were GTE and back when they were Contel Cellular and that kind of stuff. So we decided to go with them. Well, guess what? It's a new Apple phone, and guess what? It's also a new connection. So when you do change cell phone services, you need to think ahead. Immediately, you need to go ahead and find a car charger in case your electricity goes off. You can always crank up the car, make sure there's plenty of gasoline in the car, by the way. And then you can always charge your cell phone that way as well, because you've got to have communication. We were living in Charlotte, North Carolina, when a devastating tornado came through and hit Alabama. Well, we had no way to connect with anybody. Well, so one of Mother's neighbors happened to work at the hospital, and she called me. She said, I just happened to think you probably couldn't, not even the cell phones were working. No home phone, no cell phone, no nothing was working. So we were just like about ready to jump in the car and go find out what was going on. And so thankfully, the neighbor called and said, just want to let you know everything's okay. She said they had generators, at the hospital, so they were all able to call out. And I said, well, I appreciate you letting us know. And so that was pretty awesome. If you work in a hospital and you happen to know of someone, maybe an elderly person or somebody just needs assistance, you might want to think about that, calling on somebody to go check them out. And so that would be great. Or if you're a neighbor, you might want to call the police and just say there's an elderly person who lives close by. Do you mind checking their place out and make sure they're okay? Okay, because it could be you can't even get in the car. It could change your entire landscape. You may not even know where the shed in the back was. I mean, because that can happen during tornadoes. You know something? I've got to go into a commercial break. Oh my goodness, I forgot about that. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462. Okay, we are back. My name is Donna, and I am your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show for Truth Matters. We're talking about the weather and keeping you prepared. You know why? Because I love you. I want to make sure that everything is okay with you. I don't want you to get caught out. And, when I could have just spoken up and I could have just said, hey, find a shelter somewhere. Or if you have a shelter, make sure the kids aren't afraid of it. Those kinds of things. That's extremely important. Now, know the difference. Again, we talked about this in the first segment. The first part was tornado watch, be prepared. Tornadoes are possible in and near the watch areas, to be ready to act super fast. Now, if it's a warning, that means take action now. Okay, take action yesterday. Take action just as soon as you possibly can. Now, you may not always receive a tornado warning, but know the signs of a tornado warning. Take shelter if you feel you are in danger. If you live in a rural area like we do, now we get lots of assistance. The neighbors here are absolutely fabulous. We love living here, but we are outside of the city limits. So we went on ahead and took our own precautions just to make sure, again, getting that weather radio. Got to have that in effect. Make sure that cell phones are charged up. Those are really important. And all those things are really important and can keep you and your family alive. Okay, gather emergency supplies. This is extremely important. We talked a little bit earlier in the first segment about gathering water and food and medicines and that kind of thing. And if you do have a shelter or a basement in the house, make sure that you recycle those items. Again, about every 3 months or so would be a great idea. Say January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So every 3 months, let's do it 4 times a year. So every 3 months, recycle everything out of the basement or out of that storm shelter, replace it, use what you've got in there. And because nothing's going to be worse than have stale water when you're stuck somewhere. That's the way it is. So make sure you do recycle. Okay, stores and pharmacies might be closed also. So we're thinking about medicine now. So organize supplies and a go kit and a stay at home kit. Okay, that's something extremely important. Now, mother lives with us. She's on some medications. I don't have a clue what they are. I would hate it for like somebody to say, we need to know what medicine your mother's on. I don't know. I'm not a medical person. It's scary. I know what it's for, but I don't know the names of it. So what I've done, I've taken a picture. It's on my cell phone. So I've got her medicines and I've got those right there so I can see. Now, Phil and I are not on any kind of medication, so we're pretty healthy. But you want to make sure you have other things, maybe aspirin in case you get a headache, because I'm just telling you, when a tornado comes through, it does something to the atmosphere. Okay. And it's like, I have asthma. So when a tornado has come through, I can tell I have a little more difficulty breathing than regular. It's just something in the atmosphere. I don't know what it is, but it causes it. And you might think something's wrong with you. No, it's not you. It's the atmosphere changes. Okay. So you got a go kit, at least 3 days of supplies that you can carry with you, including your batteries and your chargers for your devices, your cell phone, CPAP, maybe a wheelchair. Stay at home kit, at least 2 weeks of supplies. Let me get back to the CPAP and stuff like that. So if you have elderly parents and let's say Mother's Day comes up, Christmas comes up, birthdays, all those things come up, you're always trying to figure out what to get them. Instead of another piece of jewelry, ask them what they might need in case of an emergency. That'd be the best present you could ever give them. And then they would have it. Like if they have a CPAP, maybe get a backup CPAP machine. Something that's going to keep them safe in case there's an emergency. Another good thing to have too is like a really, really good ice chest. I'm talking about a super one. So if you've got, threats of a tornado coming, now your freezer food is going to be okay for a few days, but I need to think about, like, what if I've got lunch meats and stuff? And those things will be okay in the refrigerator, but you need to think, what if? I'm not saying be afraid of everything. I'm just saying be prepared. And a good ice chest is worth the cost. And you don't have to go get a Yeti or anything like that. They make some really good ones out there on the market right now. But if it's like in the summertime, you might want to go ahead and have extra ice in the freezer, in case you like to have a cola or some sweet tea, just to make sure it's cold. Because I'm just telling you, something about the humidity does something to the atmosphere. Okay, have a month's supply of medication in a child-proof container and other needed medical supplies or equipment. You need to do that. Keep personal, financial, and medical records safe and easy to access. Hard copies or secured backups are important. Consider keeping a list of your medications and dosages on a small card to carry with you, or do like I did, take a picture of your mother's stuff. Just take a picture of it, and that will make all the difference in the world. Now, you need a safe to keep stuff in. I'm talking about a fireproof type safe, and it doesn't have to be anything huge and elaborate. It can be one of those small ones. And make sure it's got a lock on it so it's safe. Make sure you know where the key is. Okay, that's going to be really important too, unless it's a combination lock. And those are just things that you need to have with you. And where is the key? I mean, what if you've got all these important papers like your insurance papers? What if a tornado takes the roof off of your house? Okay, and I'm just telling you, when something like shocking like that happens, I'm talking about even a teenager's not going to be able to think really fast. So those things need to be in lock and place, and those need to be ready, okay, and secure and ready for you to go. Okay, I've got time for a few more things. I keep looking to see what time it is. Okay, stock up on, again, tornado preparedness kits, survival kits, and other first aid supplies. Make sure, by the way, you have first aid supplies. Now, when we had a tornado warning, it just came out of the blue. I was a kid. I was probably about 14, 15 years old, something like that. And I was walking. I wasn't walking, I was running. We were trying to get to the safe place. And just as I was walking by a window, the window just smashed. I don't know what hit it. I think it was a limb or something. I'm not sure. But I was safe from the glass except for my knee. And there's still a scar on it to prove it. And so it was a piece of glass. And that piece of glass got stuck in my knee and scared the heck out of me because it was bleeding like crazy. Make sure one thing you do keep in your medicine cabinet, in your little medical supply kit, is alum, ALUM. Because I'm just telling you, my leg was bleeding so much, I thought I was going to lose my leg. I mean, with all the blood coming out, I thought, man, it cut half my leg off. It was just a tiny, tiny little piece, but it looked worse than it actually was. So Dad goes to the medicine cabinet, and he gets a little alum, and he's telling everybody to stop freaking out. Stop freaking out. She bleeds quick, bleeds easy. So he cleaned it off, cleaned my knee off, and then he's got alum and just sprinkled it on there, and it stopped the bleeding. Because I'm telling you what, I was freaking out. So make sure you keep bandages. Make sure you keep. I like hydrogen peroxide, because hydrogen peroxide is really good at keeping things at bay, so you won't get infections and that kind of thing. So you may get little cuts. That's part of that too. So glass could come flying. You could get cut somewhere. Make sure you keep little tweezers in there too, in case you, like I did, the piece of glass was stuck in there, and that's why my knee kept bleeding like it did. So make sure you got little tweezers in there. Make sure that you medicate them. Make sure you use rubbing alcohol or hydrogen peroxide to make sure the tweezers are really, really good and clean. Have I scared you to death? I hope not, but I hope that you're more prepared. Okay, so what if you're going to have a plan put together, because it's so important that you hang around, okay? Because I love talking to you every single day. Continue sending emails, Donna@Donna'sEdge.com. That's Donna@Donna'sEdge.com. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.